If the world forgets my name and nothing around me is the same, stay beside me, you make me see that love is real.
Multiple sclerosis is a condition that affects the brain and the spinal cord. Out of approximately 2.9 million cases recorded globally, 400 of these are Kenyan, which means 1 in 140,000 Kenyans suffer from multiple sclerosis. At Parents Africa, we examine issues that affect the family and the society at large. Our guest today is Ochiko, who will be sharing his and his family's journey as they grapple with the condition. Welcome, Ochiko.
Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Talk to me. I'm here.
So recently, you just released a new song.
I did.
On a specific day.
Yes.
And it had a specific message.
Yes.
Would you like to go more into detail about that?
Yes, please. So first of all, my name is Ochiko. For those who are not conversant with me, I am a singer, songwriter, creative based in Nairobi. And I have a sister. Her name is Mercy Adoyo. She suffers from multiple sclerosis, MS. She's been dealing with it for a couple of years now, around 5 to 6 years. And we've had the most extreme episodes since the diagnosis came this year. And while we were in hospital, it became very overwhelming. And as an artist or as a creator, I got into the music so that it could, just help fuel the whole situation. And I wrote The World, which was released on World MS Day. Yeah, and here we are.
Yeah.
I need you to know, if the world forgets my name and nothing around me is the same, stay beside me, you make me see that love is real.
So could you kindly share her journey with MS, very briefly?
Okay, so she's not been the healthiest girl growing up. So we were very keen to make sure that, she's okay, she's safe wherever she is. We can always be able to provide the best type of care. But after giving birth to her second kid, she got diagnosed with it. And this came from physical abuse. I didn't know that you could get MS from physical abuse.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I'm a very big advocate against physical abuse of any kind. And we experienced such extreme cases in marital affairs, So that came from there. When we went to hospital, we were told that she has it, and it was triggered by the abuse, because there's the correlation, between the brain and the nervous system.
Yes.
So yeah, that is when the diagnosis came in. And we were so shocked because there's no history of MS in the family.
Yeah.
And we went to look for second, third, fourth opinions, but they all said the same thing, that she has the illness, and we just need to live a certain type of life from then on, get a certain type of care, certain quality of, medication, and all of that. That's how it started. And so it's just been like that. So steadily making sure she's on health insurance, making sure she's on meds, making sure, because now it becomes very strenuous physically. It's so painful, you can almost see it. Yeah. So she has to be on very heavy pain meds. Medication in Kenya is not cheap. Health is very expensive here. We don't have policies that are functional. So that's how we've been. That's how it started. That's how we were working through it until last year. It became very extreme. On a certain day, she fell. We took her to Mama Lucy. Mama Lucy couldn't help. We took her to Kenyatta. Got to Kenyatta, they told us to come back to Mama Lucy.
Wow.
Go to Mama Lucy, they told us, go to Kenyatta again.
Wow.
So eventually we got to Kenyatta, and we just begged them. Just we don't want anyone dying on us.
Yeah.
Because at this point, we don't know how severe the condition is. From us outside looking in who are not very conversant with medicine, you're very scared at any one point that anything could happen. So we got her admitted there. And she began her treatment. It became extremely strenuous. We did our first fundraiser last year. And I love Kenyans and I love my fans so much because within a day we'd cleared that bill. Yeah, we'd clear that bill. And so after that, she got on chemo. Rituximab, to be exact. Okay. It's a steroid, but they use it on MS patients. Yeah, so we got her on chemo for a month, and after that, she was supposed to do it twice every year. So this is like sometime in August, September. So she was due another one in around February, March. But before then, on a random day, she just called me. She's like, "I'm really struggling to eat." Like, what do you mean? She's like, "Why? I'm in the house." I said, "I'm coming." Went to her to hospital, did ultrasounds, nothing. But they could tell that there's a problem. So we went back home. The next day, she called me back again. I went, took her kids to the daycare, and then got back home to her, took her to hospital. Took her to hospital. She stayed the night. She was okay. The next day, she was supposed to be getting some medications. But before that, she started seizing. So again, now I'm like, now I think it's about time now we involve the parents so that she's their child. So they should know, regardless of how old we are, So just called my parents, told them my mom was out of town. My dad came. So this was happening in Real Hospital, Utawala. So we got there and they admitted her. She couldn't stop seizing because the pain was that severe that her whole body, she was shutting down. And we've been there for a month. Left there, went to KU referral, stayed in KU referral for around 2 weeks. Got out of there, went to Aga Khan. Aga Khan has the best neurologist in the country. So got some help there, and then we went for an operation because there was some damage that was going on with her intestines. That was as a result of the MS. Yes. So we did that, and then got her back there, and she's been on recovery. Yeah, she's doing better.
Wow, what a journey!
It's an extreme one. You're always,
you have to be on the ready.
Yeah, you're very ready.
How has that impacted your life so far? Not just yours, but the family's.
Okay, let me start from myself.
Okay.
So, being someone who practices my art as my profession, this is where I get my bread.
Yeah.
So everything had to stop. We had gigs booked. We had studio sessions booked with different artists. Up to today, there are sessions that I've not been able to do. And that's as a result of that. That's first. Number two, there are clients who are lost because there are things that you can't put on hold.
Yeah.
I'm not busy. This has to happen right now. And we have to get it done first. And then life continues. To the rest of my family, so we have 4 kids and both of my parents. So for my eldest sister, it meant she's doing her master's right now. It meant missing classes. It meant missing work. For my parents, it meant taking time away from work. Same to me, same to my brother. And with that came the strain of money because you have to work so that you make money.
Yeah.
And as I said, health in Kenya is very expensive. We got the craziest bills. As I was looking through, the bills were piling up every day. You come and pay today, tomorrow, the same amount you paid yesterday has accumulated again.
Yeah.
So it was very strenuous for us. And with financial strain comes emotional strain too. Because at the same time, you want the best for your daughter, for your sister, but you don't have the means to. You see her suffering and you cannot do anything more than what you're doing to help.
Yeah.
I remember at some point it had us on edge. It had us fighting, arguing. Everyone wants to do what is best. It was quite an emotional turmoil. Yeah, but we thank God. In one way or another, I was a good mediator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You picked up some new skills.
Yeah, I picked up some new skills. Yeah, I appreciate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has it deepened your bond? Do you guys understand each other better now? Has it changed how you approach conflict as a family?
I feel like, okay, in comparison to everyone else, I was closest to my parents when this was happening. Because now I had to move back home.
Okay.
Because now you're also caregiving. Apart from them being parents or guardians, you need to take care of them because they're also not young.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's that too that comes in. My mom last year had a knee replacement surgery. So mobility is not the easiest thing for her.
Yeah.
But she wants to see her daughter every day.
Yeah.
So there's also that. So it showed me that I feel like growing up, we thought that parents were emotionally bulletproof.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like they could go through anything and face everything and they'd be okay.
Take it in their stride, come out on the other side unscathed.
Yeah, you guys could, like, we could always see how they are okay.
Yeah.
How they're always fine. Like the mom, the dad, superheroes.
Yes.
They'll get everything done.
Invincible.
But, invincible. This time, I could see them breaking. I could see them struggling to stay okay. Struggling to communicate. I remember days when we could just tell each other, just go home, rest.
Yeah.
Because no one is going to say it to the other. We're all going to stay there. We all want to be strong for each other.
Yeah.
But the vulnerability is needed. The need to show that you care is needed, to communicate it. Because Mom, I understand that this is hard, but you don't have to do it by yourself. Same to me, same to my dad, same to my sister or brother. So it, in a way, helped us know each other.
Yeah.
We grew up we were not tightly knit. So we don't really know each other from an emotional point of view. We just know that this is your brother, this is your sister, this is your mother. You know, like grew up in one of those households where you'll hear, you're not told I love you, you're told I've paid your fees.
Yeah, that's supposed to communicate that I love you.
That's supposed to communicate that I love you. Yeah. But now you're seated in a place where you need to say more than, because there's no fee to be paid now. Now you need to communicate those emotions. But these are parents who are not wired like that.
Yeah.
They didn't grow up like that. Emotions were a very distant concept for them.
Yeah.
But us, these newer generations, I think late millennials, Gen Zs moving forward are very emotionally conscious. Yeah. So I'm very swift to tell you that I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed. I love you. I miss you. I'm okay. So they learned it too over this time. Yeah, because if you don't say it, you're going to keep on breaking and we're all going to think you're okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, I think it's a beautiful, painful part of the journey.
Yeah.
It's inescapable, but it's so beautiful
I have to say it was refreshing to just see my people come together and want and try. It was a lot more than us showing up for family gatherings over the years. It meant so much more than that.
Yeah.
Because they showed us, put everything aside. It was unfortunate that we had to have a misfortune so that
I know.
Yeah. But you only miss it when it's gone.
That's true.
And the fear of that helped us.
That's true. You never miss the water till the well runs dry.
Yeah, you don't miss the rain until the sun doesn't stop shining.
I agree.
Yeah, so I appreciate the fact that out of this came that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned caregiving.
Yeah.
That you had to step in to become a caregiver, not just for your sister, but also for your parents.
Yeah.
So outside of work and aside from work, how did your life change, the day-to-day of it?
So, okay, let me give you a typical day over the period where we've been in hospital. So last night, I came back home at around 11 because I can't sleep in the same room with her in the hospital. So I come from home, come from hospital, probably pick up food along the way as I'm going home, rest. By around 7, I'm up. I'm back in hospital. Spend part of my day there. So through this period, there's been things that are needed, like the chemo. So like most of the hospitals in Nairobi don't have rituximab. You can only find it in, say, Kenyatta, Cancer Texas, the Texas Center, Cancer Texas Center, or like Mata. So now there's that whole movement. If we need to organize like blood donations, I'm the one who's on ground. like mobilizing people. Now that I have influence and I have numbers, just communicate it to the people, tell them where to meet. So there's my days are mostly in and out of hospital, and now like back home or like on call. Mom, have you eaten today? Are you okay? Like just making sure that everyone is sane. Because my mom was shutting down. My dad became quiet. And you can clearly tell that they're trying not to show us that they're overwhelmed. Because they, as parents, they think that if they break, we also break. But it's not like that. Right now that we're grown, we can buffer them from all the emotional crazy that happens. So it was a lot of that, a lot of the communications in between us, which mostly happened while I was in hospital. Wow.
I can imagine how difficult it was for them, because as parents, the way you've just mentioned, they never want to be seen breaking. They never want the children to have to be the ones to pick up after them.
There's a crazy day. My dad calls me. It's like, your mom isn't okay. I'm like, where is she? At the hospital. I called my mother, asking, what are you doing in hospital? You should be home. Like, if you're not okay, you should be home. You being home and taking care of yourself does not mean you care any less for your daughter. You see?
Wow.
And I don't think if I didn't say it, she would have stayed.
Of course.
She would have stayed. Like, against her better judgment to take care of herself, she would have stayed. And that would probably have meant more damage.
Yes, it would. Wow. When self-care, it becomes more than just about you. When you take care of yourself, you're able to take care of others.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, because now at that days, I have to tell them, I've been in hospital the last 3 days. Now you go. Now you call people, Auntie Nani, what are you doing today? You're home. Now you go. Because at the end of the day, the nuclear family is stretched so thin. You've not been home in how many days? You've not had a proper meal in so many days. So like the checks and balances have to be there.
Wow. When you have to give your parents permission. Wow. That's so sad.
Do you know the craziest thing is I'm a last born?
Really?
No. I'm a last born of 4. So it's been very enlightening for them. And that they're quite grateful that they raised someone who's as I am. So,
because you've stepped up really in this season.
Also as a man, the need to want to step up is automatically, it's primal. That as a man, you will provide. So you will want to,
Are you the last born and you're the only boy? Or?
I'm the last born and last born son.
Wow.
Yeah.
Double whammy.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sure you've surprised them during this time.
Yeah. I want to think that growing up, I grew up very differently from the rest of my siblings.
Of course.
Because there's a bit of gap in between me and them. So my parents were never home. They were always working. So I needed to take care of myself. I needed to take care of the house when I come from school, get myself some food, eat. There was that need to be independent because you're told, like, if you don't take care of yourself, it's who will. So like whenever we can help, we will help. We will guide you. We will show you the best way possible. So
Well, when you said that you had a different experience, that's not what I thought. I thought you meant you were very pampered and baby.
No. This was not one of those households.
Wow. All right. So what are some of the emotional highs and lows you've experienced as a sibling of someone who is dealing with multiple sclerosis?
Those seizures, those convulsions, they're so traumatizing. They happen involuntarily, and it can happen at any time.
Anytime, anywhere.
Anywhere. And someone who's having a silent seizure, that's basically someone who's experiencing seizures when they're asleep.
Yeah. Ooh.
They could choke on themselves, they could choke on their tongue, they could go, they could die. So it's you're always very fragile with them. Yeah. And signing those disclaimers, those, what are they called?
Before
getting into operation rooms, there are documents that you have to sign every time. And I'm the one who's been that I consent to this operation, and this operation could lead to this. This and medication could lead to this, and if anything happens, the hospital
is not liable.
Yet they're the ones administering the medication, and you see how severe they are. And to know that we don't have the best medical systems in Kenya,
Yeah.
you're very scared of signing those documents.
Yeah.
So
Oh my gosh. Highs?
Highs, seeing people show up for me. So I had stopped taking gigs. And this, let me face the cameras and say this and thank Kenyans for showing up for me. People say that Luos have pride, and also like men are very prideful. Like we hold our egos to some place. So asking for help could be a problem most times. But one day, a friend of mine called Marion, who I love so much, called and told me it is easier to ask for contributions for hospital bills as compared to funeral arrangement bills. And I went online, typed on my story and told people I need help to get my sister out of hospital. And people came out. I think we raised like 100,000 the first week.
Wow.
Yeah. And again, my friends in the industry just came together. Curators, artists, sound engineers, guys who do location scouting got together and just put together a show.
Wow.
Like a fundraising show. Didn't tell me. They got on my WhatsApp and comment, told me, check your WhatsApp. We've sent you posters. We are doing a show for you and your sister on this day. Avail yourself. Wow. Yeah. So I have to just be very grateful of the community that is around me. That is one of the highest of highs that I've ever experienced. And it's very overwhelming to receive help abundantly when you're the one who's most times giving it, or you never need to ask, because asking at times makes us look weak. Mostly as even guys, like you can't stand up for yourself. You can't provide for your family. What do you mean? But come to realize that we live in an economy where one catastrophe takes you back to poverty.
True.
Yeah, our systems and the leaders that we have today don't even try to buffer us from any damage that comes with life.
That's true.
So I'm very grateful of the community that is around me. And even today, even the way we run the businesses of today, we don't necessarily run the businesses from behind the scenes. I ran my brand by being the face of it, being in front of the camera and being able to relate to the people, humanize, my own experiences. Because out of this, I've learned that there's quite a number of people who follow me that are affected by MS.
Wow.
And now we're in contact with each other. We are checking in on each other, like we're planning and getting in talks to do more, to just just sensitize. Raise awareness. Like by doing even stuff like this.
Wow. So what misconceptions do you think people have about MS that you'd love to clear? People just don't understand.
That you can get it even if you weren't born with it.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big one. You could get it even if you were not born with it. It's not curable too.
You have to manage it.
You have to manage it. There's no non-cure today. You can suppress it to like probably negative or like 0 levels, but I have not, from the years that I have interacted with MS, we've not heard of any cure so far.
How do you support your sister practically and emotionally?
I get her out of the house. I talk to her. I make sure she eats food that she enjoys. Aww. She enjoys a beautiful meal. Aww. Yeah, getting her time with her kids. Because now, like most times, now that she's a parent, she's also buffering her kids from seeing the same, like the effects of MS. So at times, just taking the load of the kids. Making sure like the kids are picked from school, helping with finances at her place, that she can worry about one thing and not have to stress about anything else. Because something that people don't know about MS, stress can trigger episodes. Extreme
nerves and
extreme stress can trigger episodes. And so now you want to make sure that they are comfortable, like they're okay. Just take care of their minds as much as you're taking care of their bodies.
I'd asked about how you have experienced this and how you've handled it as a sibling, but how have you done that as an uncle? You've mentioned your sister is buffering her kids, but you're also an uncle. How have you How have you managed them throughout this journey?
I love my boys, and I don't want them to ever feel like there's anything wrong in this world. To them, the world is perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah. So on Wednesdays, they come home a little late. So I'll be there, and they love, there's a place, they love their burger and fries. So they'll always get it. Just quality time with them. Just being there being a present male figure in that household, because the father is not there. Yeah. So I want to be present for all their days. When they're graduating, I'm there. When they need to be picked up from daycare, I am there. Like, they will never have to be told that or feel less because someone's playing with their dad and they're not. That's something that they will never have to experience.
Has your own experience with your dad, for example, how he raised you, influenced that decision?
Yes.
How so?
Yes. And I love my father, as I say this too.
Yes.
He raised me the best way he knew how. And as we grow up, you realize that you cannot always blame your parents for how they raised you. They did the best they could with the knowledge that they had
at the time.
So with how my father raised me, significantly affected how I want to deal with relationships as a man. So I'm very present for these boys, because my dad was very hard and was very silent. Like, his presence communicated more than his words.
Just like the typical African
if
dad.
he was ever called into a room that you're in, you've done something wrong. So now I try very much not to be that. My presence has to communicate warmth.
Oh, wow.
Like,
to be calming, not to put you on toes.
Not on toes. There's a video I saw a while back where, growing up, if someone did this,
you flinch, what's coming.
You know what's coming. These days, you do something like this, they do high five.
Oh man.
So we're changing the stereotype that came with parenting. And it's something that I'm very passionate about with my boys, because I don't want them growing up thinking that they are men who cannot communicate emotions. They are men who are not warm to the people who are around them, that they only need to provide and be nothing else.
Wow. Okay. So how has this journey influenced how your family expresses love and shows up for one another?
So, you know how most times, now that me and my siblings, we live in different places. We've most times lived in very different counties, countries even. So right now there's the need to, once in a while, you check in. Now you're very practical to make sure that, hello, Ukwaje, how are you doing? Have you eaten today? Hey, mama, have you taken care of yourself today? Have you taken that medication today? Because the thought of losing someone tends to bring, to make life more fragile.
True.
You never know when you will lose anyone. And at a certain age, you have to be very conscious and know that people will start going, whether you like it or not.
True.
So you have to be more intentional about it. You have to be present. You have to want to care. Because now our parents are not, my parents are not those ones who will come and tell you, I miss you. Hello, umepotea.
So just get sauti yako.
I've not heard your voice in a minute. So so now I want to be, and I try very hard to be that son who is like, hi, have you been? Are you in town? Or how are you doing?
That's nice. Would you say, I've heard you talk about it from your perspective, but would you say they've also become more intentional? Your siblings?
The best ways that they know how.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's talk about the role that community plays in working through long-term illness. You mentioned they came through for you, the fundraiser, and it touched you. So what role does it play?
So let's go back to last year. So last year, the first time I came out on social media to just talk about it. And as I talk about community, back in the day, community was physical, people who are around you. Today, community is very virtual. People will show up for you and be very present for you, even if they're not being with you like presently, like not presently, but physically. So last year, me being a person who I don't spend my life on social media. So it was very hard to figure out the concept that, what do you mean I want to talk about my personal life
Social.
to people who I don't know?
Yeah, you can't even put faces to
their names.
Yeah.
You don't even know if they're real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it could be bot accounts.
So I got on socials and just talked about it. And the amount of reassurance that people gave me. People were coming to me, like we met people who are very present in my life today, who I would not have met.
Why it not for this?
Why it not for this?
Posting.
But no, for me, not posting. Wow. You see, like, and even like the financial side of it, these people came out and gave money to someone who they don't know.
Yeah.
And paid bills for someone who they are not related to. You know, and from an emotional point of view, these people only are in contact with me through the music.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You see?
Yeah.
So technically, they don't even know me.
Yeah.
Then, now, I've tried to be very present on socials to also continue building that community.
Yeah.
Because these are the same people who will call me and pray for my sister.
Oh, wow.
So the same people who are gonna call me and to ask me, are you with your mother? Are you with your father? Let me talk to them. My sister had it. My auntie had it. My father had it. So it makes you feel like you're not alone.
Yeah.
Because that tends to do more damage as compared to the actual illness.
Yes.
Yeah. So
the feeling that you're alone in that.
Yeah. So just having to experience that has also just opened my heart, made me open my heart more. I was a very close person. Now I know that there's love out here and there are people who genuinely want to care.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also just seeing the fundraiser. We held it at Aira's Neuro Soul Cafe in Kilimani. That place has never been that full.
What?
This is from the owner.
Wow.
It has not been that full. That place was so full we couldn't park cars. And like there was no entry. You were entering by whatever contribution. If you came with a single shilling, you'd get in.
Wow.
Yeah. But on that day, with how the economy in Kenya is, people came out and in between 3 p.m. and 7, we'd raised 120,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and just moving away from the financial side of it, people came and hugged me and said kind words to me, reassured me, prayed for me, just wanted to inquire, how are you? Away from you taking care of other people and everyone else, how are you? Most times, people are more preoccupied with the person who's ailing.
Yes.
And, like you make sure that you care for the patient so much, who's buffering the person who's caregiving or like taking care. So I'm very grateful. Also just to my close friends. These people were calling me every day.
Wow.
Men.
Wow.
Every day calling me and telling me, you're going to be okay. Is there anything you need? If you need anything, slightest thing, call me.
Wow.
People are even offering to go and, just get work done. Pick up the kids. Cook.
Wow.
Come with food. So I'm very grateful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you that they showed up for you in that way. Okay, let's talk about mental health. You've mentioned in your journey, in your post, that at some point you felt overwhelmed.
I did.
In this journey. So how have you managed your emotions and just how have you been checking in with yourself emotionally?
Do you know what shadow work is?
I've heard.
So shadow work is a lot of introspection. And it mainly stems from wanting to fix self. Like, why am I like this? Why am I the way I am? Why do I get agitated when some things happen? Why do I feel like 1, 2, 3 happens when this happens?
Yeah.
So over this period, I'm a man who's worked through my anger. I had anger issues that came up from just the type of background that we grew up in. So I thought I'd solved and worked through everything. But Kenyan hospitals tested me enough to bring out the anger that I thought was
long gone.
Like was long gone.
Yeah.
And over that period, I'm grateful for the friends that I have, that they allow me to just on a day that I could crash out, I did. And I went and talked about everything and how frustrated I was, and I was like, I'm sorry for venting, just talk, talk, because these are my brothers, and it's been very important.
Your brothers, these are men,
these are men, these are men. It's very important that I think I say that. These are men artists too, so they understand the dynamics change,
Mm-hmm.
and that I'm never going to be okay all the time.
Yeah.
And life, it does its thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not all the time that I'm at a shoot, I'm at an interview, I'm out making money. There
Yeah.
are days when you're experiencing losses, days when I'm experiencing. So they created the conducive space to just allow me to talk.
They
and be
created
myself.
it and they held space for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you say that was intentional? Like it was a result of you guys actively building that kind of friendship that would hold space for such emotions, or is it something you now stumbled upon?
No. I think it's been very intentional. There was the need of it. You know how when it is time for the computer to be invented, the universe will make sure the computer is, even if the idea is given to you and you sleep on it. I feel like there was the need. So at first we didn't know what it was. People used to tell us how they love seeing us on stage together. You could see that these people care for each other. It's just that right now it's a bit more targeted. Like when I see something going on online with one of my bros, I'll call and like there's you're cared for, you're seen, you're heard. If you need anything, 1, 2, 3, please reach out. And being intentional enough that when they do, you're diligent about it. It's not just the Usani thing, I'll call you. It's I said I'd call you, Jana. This is me calling you, what was going on. And also just telling them and them telling me that you don't have to sugarcoat. You don't have to be strong and, the will at times is not there.
Yeah.
So just exist.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What would you say to men who feel like they are carrying silent burdens, especially as caregivers?
Life is very fragile. And the highest number in this world of suicidal cases are men.
Yeah.
It is very easy for you to find yourself at the end and see that there is no way out.
Yeah.
In my own life, I've experienced a number of suicidal cases, and part of them, some of them are men. In fact, a majority of the men who I know who committed suicide in my life is crazy, because these are people who are full of life. You never thought that they would get to an end and do something like that. So if you're going through anything, please talk to someone. As a matter of fact, if you're listening to this and you feel like you need someone to talk to as a man and you do not have community around you or like presence around you that allows you to be soft enough to communicate your emotions, please reach out through my socials.
Wow.
Yes. And I will personally listen. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So did you explore therapy?
So now, therapy was a very foreign concept, and I felt like therapy was for rich people. Because it's expensive.
Yeah.
And you need to pay electricity. You don't have tokens, but you want to go for therapy.
Yeah.
I'd rather go drink or something. Of which now
isn't that even more expensive though?
But now that's the thing with life. It tends to, that thing that you're saying about 500,000 and 500,000 sound very different. Yeah, alcohol at times looks very appealing as compared to, you can get, first of all, you can get free therapy today. You can get virtual free therapy today.
Yes.
You don't even have to move away from your house.
Yeah.
You can get affordable therapy.
Yeah.
I know places that from around 1,000 bob, you can get someone to talk to you who is a professional.
Yeah.
You see, and I promise you, there's liquor that is worth that price. And there are people who are going to opt for it.
Yeah.
And it is not a healthy way to deal.
Yeah.
You see, so have I opted for therapy? Yes. Have I attempted to do it? Yes. Am I doing it? Yes.
Nice.
Do I do it consistently? No. Am I trying to do it consistently? Yes.
But you've seen the results.
I've seen the results, because now it really makes you, it brings everything here. All the unresolved issues come up front. And
isn't that scary?
It is, man. It is. And you're trying to be all cool in there. They don't know who Ochiko is when you're getting to. They don't even care about you, my music.
Yeah.
They're just like, what's your name on your ID? Andrew Otieno. What has brought you here today? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 issues. Okay. They don't want to know anything else. As a matter of fact, they're very intentional not to know you outside of the room. Yeah.
Wow. So you'd advocate for it?
I advocate for it. Please go for therapy. And if you do not know where to go, please reach out to our socials. We have people who we work with, and we have friends who would be willing to help.
Wow.
Yeah.
And mentorship or faith, have these been ways you've used to cope with your emotions and to manage them?
Oh my God. So mentorship and faith. Let me start with the faith. I'm a pastor's kid, first of all.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I grew up with the Bible, very close. And, growing up, you find your own spirituality.
Yeah.
And of which I think is very important. If you haven't, please find it. Doesn't necessarily have to be what you're born from. But personally, as I was telling you, like off camera, I don't believe the things that I do could have been done without a bigger power at play.
Yeah.
I believe that there's a presence of a God that exists in this world. And it's important that everyone finds their own. It does not have to be mine.
Yeah.
Just find yours and really just get life from it.
Yeah.
Because that's a stream that will never run dry. Over this period, the things that they're so overwhelming, I cannot even articulate them with words. All I can do is just cry about them.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I just say, Mungu wangu, my God, please hear me. I hope you're listening to whatever's going on because I do not know how to maneuver out of this. And in one or another, man, you get the peace of mind. You get the calmness that comes in situations where you never thought you could handle. Yeah, mentorship. I think it's very important that I'm never the smartest I'm never the smartest man in any room that I'm in. It's important so that I am always teachable. I can always learn from someone who is around me. Yeah. So my manager, my A&R, my closest friend, they're all older than me. So it really helps to just be able to, be able to come back and circle back and ask.
Yeah.
And just talk to these people. Some of my friends, I have older friends who have really been very present in making sure that I can communicate. What's going on? What did you do today? How did you do it? You shouldn't have done it like that. We understand that you're the one doing this for the family, but okay, now as a grown man who has a family, this is what I think you should do. This is how I think you should approach it. You should not approach it from your mom's side, approach it from your dad's side. He's also a man, he'd understand 1, 2, 3. So it helps just to knowing how to become a better man to my family. Yeah.
Okay, wow. So you agree that, especially as a man, having a man you are answerable to or somehow accountable to is something that
it's important. Put me in my place when I'm not being the very best example of the type of man I want to be,
Wow.
Because if you're not accountable, then you have free will. That's why you have laws, because now everyone can rule.
Yeah, anarchy.
So just having someone who can keep you accountable is important. At times it's not an older person. Sometimes it's a peer.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So how has this journey affected the way you relate to mental health and to men specifically with regards to mental health? How you approach conversations about mental health with the guys? How has it changed how you see it?
Honestly, I'm softer, man. And I'm of the understanding that these things can happen to anyone. I never thought a single day I would be anywhere asking people to help me, or I'll be telling one of my boys that I'm having a hard day and I don't know what to do. That's something, the stereotype is that's something you expect to see from a girl.
Yeah.
And girls are very protective of each other to make sure that if you're feeling bad, you can always talk to me, I'm your sister. But now I'm very appreciative of the fact that when I'm not okay, the first person I'm calling, best believe, is a man.
Wow.
Yeah. That's they will be very willing to listen to whatever I have to say, because when they're in that safe space, they know that they're very welcome, heard and felt.
Yeah. Wow. That's beautiful. All right. So let's talk about music and expression and healing.
Yes.
You talked about your music. So how exactly have you used music as a means as an outlet for your emotions, and how have your experiences sort of influenced or shaped your music?
I'm a very big believer of people. You cannot take people to a place where you've never been. So if you connect to the music that you're making, people will directly connect to this music without you having to do all the extraordinary things that you need to do to get good music. First of all, make sure you do those extraordinary things. But before that,
the soul.
You have the soul. And I feel like that's the most important thing. And I've been very keen and very meticulous in making sure that I am in touch with myself always first before I am in touch with anything else. This music is for me first. Most times, some of the biggest songs that I have, a song like You is almost like at 1 million streams on Spotify alone. Is a song that spoke to me first, healed me first. I did that song for myself. Like everyone else is an extra, is extra math. Yeah, so yeah.
Oh, that video was so cute.
Yes. So that using it as expression. Before we could afford like going for therapy, when I am anxious, pick up my guitar.
Yeah.
When I'm anxious, who is playing today? That's where I'm going to listen. It also just helped me get more in touch with Kenyan art, get more in touch with like just the art around the world, because I'm realizing that people around the world who I listen to are also vulnerable enough to put their own experiences.
Yeah.
So it's not a very far-fetched thought. It's not a far-fetched idea that you can fall in love and sing about it. Yeah. Because today I'm seeing an artist who I look up to, having his girlfriend, his wife, his fiancé on the video, referencing them. And it's beautiful to see how much we can express and how honest I can be today with my music. I can literally go and talk about my sister's condition in a song, and people will listen to it and be very objective with it.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Wow. Would you say your family and personal experiences have shaped your sound or lyrical themes?
Yes. Yes and no. Yes, because of proximity.
Okay.
The type of environment that you're born around directly affects the type of sonics as an artist that I do. Yeah. So once I understood that, I started doing it. Yeah. And we can say yes, it has affected. It has affected it. And no, because I'm very keen to make sure that the sound at home is not the only sound that I'm doing. Yeah. Because you're trying to get into the world market and appeal to 7 billion people. Yeah. You have to be able to open yourself up. Yeah. So
it's a blend.
It's a blend of both.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So are there songs you've written specifically about your sister and her journey?
Yeah. The World. The World.
Very beautiful song, by the way.
Thank you. On that fateful Thursday, or on that fruitful Thursday, I went to Thika Road and got into Modest Shabari's house. Thank you so much, Modest, for that's my closest friend actually. Yeah, I got into Modest Shabari's house and told him I need to do something about this. I'm very overwhelmed. That day we had an argument with the hospital. Because I'd said that I'd not talk about it, but since I'm here, I might as well. The hospital refused to give me a referral letter for my sister. Because, when you get a referral letter, you can hold the hospital liable if there's anything that was that was a problem. Yeah. And I asked this doctor, why are you refusing to give me a referral letter? This man said, and by this is a man who I respected until then.
Until that point.
That you want people to go and say that I failed. You want to tell me that your fragile ego is going to get in the way of my sister getting treatment. This sickness is incurable. Yeah. You are not going to cure it. Yeah. You are only going to be able to manage it. Yeah. And it is quite absurd to imagine that someone could do that. Yeah. So this day, I remember I told my parents that people need to understand that the presence of absence is there. Yeah. Like the capability of madness is there. So not absence, madness is there. So don't assume that I'm too civil that I will not get, So did the shouting on behalf of the family and then left. Went to the studio and Modest had started writing this song. In fact, had written a very big portion of it, but he'd never known where to place it. So now I also gave him a song from that I'd never known what to do with on that night. And I told him, this song I know, just give me 1 hour. Came back, in that 1 hour we recorded it. I told him, mix this song this week. It's being released on WazMS Day.
What? So when you were posting about it, when you're putting that's the screenshot of the...
Yeah.
It was 1 week only.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I sent it to my distributor. I distribute with Orchard. I told them I need you to put haste on this project. I don't know how much can be done in between now and then, because there's a process in between the releasing, working with distributions and publishers. Just told them, just do whatever can be done, that on 30th May, we're releasing the song. And yeah, they did it. I'm very grateful. The song is out, man. Yeah.
What has the feedback been?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I did an interview over the weekend in a space that normally does not do that type of sound. They don't do ballads. They responded so well to it. The demographics too, and it's beautiful to watch that. That music cut across.
Yeah.
That's the music that got me in contact with you guys too.
Yes.
So I'm very appreciative of the fact that something that came out of a lot of pain,
and heartbreak
is necessarily like opening doors to new audiences, opening doors to new spaces. I'm meeting new very beautiful people too, you know.
I agree. I love the song as well, and the comments, I mean, they're there to be seen.
They're there to be seen.
They're so the song was beautiful. I loved your voice. The highs you're talking about, it pulls at the heartstrings. Yeah, you can feel. How has your sister heard the song?
I sent it to her the day before releasing it. She cried.
Aww.
She cried, and she calls herself a gangster. She cried seriously.
Gangster points.
Down the drain.
It's such a beautiful song.
Thank you.
How do you balance making music that's soulful and vulnerable with the pressure of entertaining?
So when I was getting into music, there are two things that I was told I need to do. First of all, there's the authenticity side of the music, and there's what makes you money. So I had to learn how to balance the two. So you first find the authenticity and then learn to commercialize it. Yes. Because you can make money off of it. If it is music that is authentic to you and people listen to music and pay, then you can commercialize authenticity.
True.
Yeah.
All right, so what's next for you musically?
Musically, I'm about to give you, by the time this interview is coming out, I'll be giving you a single, and then there's my next project, which is a sequel EP. I don't know if people have done that before, but I'd want to do a sequel of an EP.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
All right, so I'm sure this story has touched so many people, and it's going to touch so many people. So in case people want to reach out to you, people want to help out, people want to share their own stories with you, or even hear your side of the story, how can they reach to you? How can they reach you?
Reach out to me. If you would like to get in contact with me, please, on all social media platforms, my name is Ochiko, Ochiko. We also have a number for any calls, SMS, comments, concerns, which is 07933 69213. 07933 69213. That is also the same number that is used for bookings. You can also get in contact with us through bookwithochiko@gmail.com. Here, if you also need to do anything, or communicate anything concerning MS or like just the Ochiko brand in general, you can either reach us on socials, on email, or on the phone number that I just gave you. For everyone who's been watching, my sister's name is Mercy Adoyo. And if you would like to whisper a prayer, if you'd like to share words of insight or affirmations, that's her name. You can always reach out to us through the number that I've provided, and we'd be very, very happy to put you in contact with her. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for making time to be here today.
Cut.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ochiko talking to us about his family's journey with multiple sclerosis. This is Parents Africa, real people, real stories. If this conversation touched you, if you enjoyed it, if you know someone who is currently going through multiple sclerosis or someone who is caregiving to someone with multiple sclerosis, definitely like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't. My name is Nema. See you next time.